with everybody on this Ekadashi. Happy Ekadashi. We will immediately just get started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Ekadashi Devi ki jai, Grantaraj Maharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So today is Mohini Ekadashi, and we will blissfully kind of prepare ourselves to hear about the glories of this Ekadashi, which also falls on a Mahadwadashi, but is still called Ekadashi, and we'll find that out at the end. And as I was reflecting on this lecture, and as I was reflecting on the pastime of this Ekadashi and the Mahadwadashi that it falls upon, because today is Rukmini Dwadashi, so it is the appearance day of Shri Rukmini Devi, I was kind of thinking about the fact that we come from a lineage and a tradition, a culture of people who were willing to bet their lives on what they believed in. And so as I was even just pronouncing the mantras of the Mangala Charana, this invocation, I was just kind of taking a moment to think, do I actually believe in what I'm saying? Am I willing to bet my life on it? Is this Krishna consciousness something that I'm willing to stake my life on? Is the power of the holy name and the power of Ekadashi something that I am willing to stake my life on? Do I really mean it? Or is it something that is convenient for me at the moment, so I follow? But when the going gets tough, do I abandon everything? Or am I really, really willing to put my conviction behind it? Do I believe? Do we believe? So, something to contemplate as we go through the journey of this pastime. Sri Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Janardhan, what is the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight Shukla Paksh of the month of Vaishak, April-May? What is the process for observing it properly? Kindly narrate all of these details to me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, replied, O blessed son of Dharma, what Vashishta Muni once told to Lord Ramachandra, I shall now describe to you. Please hear me attentively. Lord Ramachandra asked Vashishta Muni, O great sage, I would like to hear about the best of all fasting days, that day which destroys all kinds of sins and sorrows. I have suffered long enough in separation from my dear Sita, and so I wish to hear from you about how my suffering can be ended. Apparently, Ekadashi is something that even Sri Ram believes in strongly enough that he's willing to bet his life on it. He's willing to put his full conviction behind it. Somehow or other, I've been suffering, and somehow or other, I have faith. The Supreme Person, twice over, says that he has faith that Ekadashi can end all of this suffering. Once, because Sri Ram is asking Vashishta Muni, his guru. Twice, because Lord Shri Krishna himself is now telling this to Yudhishthira. Ekadashi is something so phenomenal that somehow the Supreme Lord twice over is willing to put his full conviction and faith behind it. The sage Vashishta replied, O Lord Ram, O you whose intelligence is so keen, simply by remembering your name, one can cross the ocean of the material world. Do we believe in the power of the holy name? Or are we committing the offense of thinking that the glories of the holy name, the glories and the potency of the days like Ekadashi, are nothing more than an exaggeration or imagination? You have questioned me in order to benefit all of humanity and fulfill everyone's desires. I shall now describe that day of fasting which purifies the whole world. O Ram, that day is known as Vaishak Shukla Ekadashi, which falls on Dwadasi. It removes all sins and is famous as Mohini Ekadashi. Truly, O dear Ram, the merit of this Ekadashi frees the fortunate soul who observes it from the network of illusion. Therefore, if you want to relieve your suffering, or sufferings, observe this auspicious Ekadashi perfectly, for it removes all obstacles from one's path and relieves the greatest miseries. Kindly listen as I describe its glories, because for one who even just hears about this auspicious Ekadashi, the greatest sins are nullified. On the banks of the river Saraswati, there once was a beautiful city named Bhadravati, which was ruled by King Dutiman. O Ram, that steadfast, truthful, and highly intelligent king was born in the dynasty of the moon, Chandravansh. In his kingdom was a merchant named Dhanapala, who possessed a great deal of wealth, of food grains and money. He was also very pious. Dhanapala arranged for lakes to be dug, sacrificial arenas to be erected, and beautiful gardens to be cultivated for the benefit of all the citizens of Bhadravati. He was an excellent devotee of Lord Vishnu and had 5 sons: Suman, Dutiman, Medhavi, Sukriti, and Drishtabuddhi. Unfortunately, his son Drishtabuddhi always engaged in greatly sinful activities, such as sleeping with prostitutes and associating with similar degraded persons. He enjoyed illicit sex, gambling, and many other varieties of acts aimed at gratifying the senses. So basically, he was breaking every reg every day. He disrespected the demigods, devas, the Brahmins, the forefathers, and other elders of the community, as well as his family's guests. The evil-hearted Drishtabuddhi spent up his father's wealth indiscriminately, always feasting on untouchable foods and drinking alcohol to excess. There we go, those the other two. So, breaking all regs every day. One day, Dhanapala kicked Drishtabuddhi out of the house after he saw him walking along the road arm in arm with a known prostitute. From then on, all Drishtabuddhi's relatives were highly critical of him and distanced themselves from him also. It was kind of like they staged an intervention, tried to tell him, wasn't working, and they had to carry out the actions of said intervention. After he had sold all of his inherited ornaments and become destitute, the prostitute also abandoned him and insulted him because of his poverty. Drishtabuddhi was now full of anxiety and also hungry. He thought, what should I do? Where should I go? How can I maintain myself? He then began to steal. The king's constables arrested him, but when they learned who he was and that his father was the famous Dhanapala, they released him. He was caught and released in this way many times, but at last, sick of his arrogance and total disrespect for others and their property, the ill-mannered Drishtabuddhi was apprehended, handcuffed, and then beaten. After whipping him, the king's marshals warned him, "O evil-minded one, there is no place for you in this kingdom." However, Drishtabuddhi was freed from his tribulation by his father, and immediately thereafter entered the dense forest. This is quite interesting. So Drishtabuddhi has done a lot of things, and then he's freed by his father from jail, from possible excommunication from his kingdom and his society. And sometimes we might be thinking, you mean the father went and released him after all of that? You ever hear the stories of the thieves and people who do all manner of things and then their parents go and bail them out of jail? And has your mind ever stopped to not be so compassionate and think, what in the world? How in the world? Why? Like, why? Why would a parent be so... And compassionate is not even the word that we want to use anymore, because it almost seems as though we're not using our discriminatory processes. Yeah. We're thinking, why wouldn't a parent have enough discrimination to know that apparently this is what the child needs now to learn? They need to be exiled, kicked out, all of the things, right? So even our friend Jeffrey Ackler is saying, every time a tenant has their daddy called to work out their late rent. Yes, we felt that way, right? Except this is Krishna with us every single time. Srila Prabhupada uses the analogy within first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is like the father. Material nature, Maya Devi, is like the mother. And he says Krishna as the father really does not like the punishing aspect. So he leaves that to Maya Devi, Mother Nature, the mother of all of the living entities. However, we see that Krishna is rescuing us time and again, even when it seems glaringly obvious that what we need to learn is to fall flat on our faces. Blood spilled everywhere, teeth gone, we need to kind of like learn the hard way, face plant, and then somehow scrape ourselves back together, except Krishna's bailing us out time and again. So just as I was reading this and I was thinking about Drishtabuddhi's father, and I was thinking, how could you? And then I realized he could, because that compassionate nature of this parent is simply a drop of the compassionate nature of Krishna's heart. This is simply a spark of Krishna's splendor. And Krishna loves us so overwhelmingly that he's there to save us time and time again, to work out our late rent, to call in when we don't feel like going to work and all of the things, to save us from certain danger and complete annihilation. And time again, Krishna, well, maybe there's something good in there, some redeemable quality. When we know we have done the things that are a little bit irredeemable. But Krishna doesn't do that. Krishna somehow seems to overlook. Yeah, Krishna pays our rent and bills every month, isn't it? And then we totally forget about Krishna. I don't need him. What has he done for me lately? Has he really ever given me any miracles? Has he ever really joined in and given me the fulfillment of any of the prayers that I've asked for? Because from where I'm standing, the answer is absolutely not. Krishna Daya Prabhu, tell me something.
Sorry, I thought it says when it takes, not intent.
So, we are thinking, has Krishna actually ever done anything for me? Clearly, no. I'm just sitting here breathing, eating, sleeping, walking, talking, thinking. But it is very, very apparent to me that Krishna's never done anything to me, for me. Even though it seems as though he's constantly bailing us out, just like Drishtabuddhi's father, especially when it seems as though we don't deserve it. And somehow, material nature is so tolerant. So tolerant. Bhima Prabhu, tell me.
Haribol, what you said, that here I am breathing, eating, sleeping, conceiving, seeing, hearing, this is all Krishna. When you start to understand that we as Christ said, cannot turn a gray hair on our head black. We see this whole world. We see this whole world, everything that is around us, the trees taking carbon dioxide and turning it into oxygen, us breathing in oxygen, breathing out carbon dioxide. Everything is actually a miracle. Krishna's doing everything. Our whole existence is dependent on Krishna. That's what he does for us.
And thus, for one who sees everything in me and sees me everywhere and in everything, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me. Which is one of my favorite verses of Sri Bhagavad Gita, because of that simple fact. Whenever my mind starts to be a brat, like Drishtabuddhi, and I think, my Krishna's never done anything for me, even though I'm walking, talking, sitting, laughing, enjoying, I remember the miracle of it all. That I do not have to wake up and turn on my lungs to make sure that they work. That I do not have to wake up and then like resculpt new eyes and then put them in my head and then reconnect them with all of the nerves and then make sure it works. In order to do a transplant and then to like reconnect the different nerves and the things that were already connected, first, doctors have to like disconnect them, take out the other organ, put in another organ, then reconnect it, then test it, make sure it all works. Then they have to sew everything back up, put it all back together, then wait for you in the hospital to make sure everything is working properly. They won't let you leave until you like pass gas or pass stool or pass urine or do everything properly, right? Depending upon where you've had this surgery, there is a lot that goes into that. And then sometimes the reconnection itself takes hours. They're telling you this is a very difficult process. It's going to take hours for something that was happening already naturally. I didn't start that process. The doctors didn't initiate that process. It's not like I came out of the womb and then the doctor said, okay, let's turn everything on. Let's reconnect all of the things. No. It was not by their power at all. This is the power of Shri Krishna. That somehow everything is working naturally. And then we immediately go and take it all for granted. We are the Drishtabuddhis of our time. All of us. Every single one of us. Even if I think, I haven't been breaking every reg every day. I mean, I've been doing pretty good. But still, what has my intelligence brought me to? Has my intelligence brought me to a point where I actually believe in this story? Where I put my full conviction behind it, willing to bet my life on it? That it will end my suffering? That it will break the network of illusion? Do I believe? Or is my intelligence wasted? Just like Drishtabuddhi wasted all of his father's wealth. Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual preceptor and father, has left us incalculable wealth. Am I squandering it? Or am I somehow finding Srila Prabhupada's voice every day in my life, somewhere, somehow? So let's see what happens to poor Drishtabuddhi. Okay, he wandered here and there, hungry and thirsty and suffering greatly. Eventually, he began killing the jungle animals, the lions, deer, boars, and even wolves for food. Always ready in his hand was his bow. Always on his shoulder was his quiver full of arrows. He also killed many birds, such as chakoras, peacocks, kankas, doves, and pigeons. He unhesitatingly slaughtered many species of birds and animals to maintain his sinful way of life, the sinful results accumulating more and more each day. On account of his previous sins, he was now immersed in an ocean of great sin that was so relentless that it appeared that he could not get out. Drishtabuddhi was always miserable and anxious. Interesting. So not only was he suffering physically, but now he's suffering emotionally and mentally. But one day, during the month of Vaishak, by the force of some of his past merit, we don't even know which one, he chanced upon the sacred ashram of Kaundinya Muni. The great sage had just finished bathing in the Ganges river, and water was dripping from him still. Drishtabuddhi had the great fortune to touch some of those droplets of water that were falling from the great sage's wet clothing. Instantly, Drishtabuddhi was freed of his ignorance, and his sinful reactions were reduced. Whoa. Just from touching the drops of Ganga Jal dripping from a sage. The ways and the miracles and the savings of my Lord are endless, mysterious, and inconceivable. Those are the inconceivable things that I want to focus on, not the God can't be real because why do bad things happen to good people? And then people say the ways of our Lord are absolutely mysterious and inconceivable. Actually, I want to focus on the inconceivable miracles of I did not deserve any of this mercy, and somehow it's still pouring forth. Not the why do bad things happen to good people, it's the why do the good things keep happening. Whether we are good, bad, or otherwise, the good things keep happening. Inconceivably, drops of Ganga water start to free Drishtabuddhi from years of ignorance and an ocean of sinful reactions that it was almost impossible for him to get out of. An ocean of great sin has now been reduced. Offering his humble obeisances to Kondinya Muni, Drishtabuddhi prayed to him with joined palms. O great Brahmana, please describe to me some of the atonement I may perform without too much endeavor. Again, isn't this us? Oh, Srila Prabhupada, tell me how I can get out of this material world situation where I'm clearly miserable without too much endeavor. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to try too hard. I'm not built for that. So tell me the easiest way. O great Brahmana, I have committed so many sins in my life, and these have now made me very poor. The great Rishi replied. And he didn't say, Drishtabuddhi, seriously, no effort? You put in all the effort to commit the sinful activities. You don't even want to put in that much equal effort to get out of it? He doesn't say that. The great Rishi replied, O son, listen with great attention, for by hearing me your life will change, and you will become free of all your remaining sins. In the light fortnight of this very month, Vaishak, April, May, there occurs the sacred Mohini Ekadashi, which has the power to nullify sins as vast and weighty as Mount Sumeru. If you follow my advice and faithfully observe a fast on this Ekadashi, which is so dear to Lord Hari, you will be freed from all the sinful reactions of many, many births. So not just the great ocean of this one, many births. Hearing these words with great joy, Drishtabuddhi promised to observe a fast on Mohini Ekadashi according to the sage's instructions and direction. O best of kings, O Ramachandra Bhagavan, by fasting completely on Mohini Ekadashi, the once sinful Drishtabuddhi, the prodigal son of the merchant Dhanapala, became sinless. Afterwards, he achieved a beautiful transcendental form, and free at last of all obstacles, rode upon the carrier of Lord Vishnu, Garuda, to the supreme abode of the Lord. O Ramachandra, the fast day of Mohini Ekadashi removes the darkest illusory attachments to material existence. There is thus no better fast day in all the three worlds than this. Lord Sri Krishna concluded, and so, O Yudhishthir, there is no place of pilgrimage, no sacrifice, and no charity that can bestow merit equal to even 1/16 of the merit a faithful devotee of mine obtains by observing the Mohini Ekadashi. And he who hears and studies the glories of Mohini Ekadashi achieves the merit of giving away 1,000 cows in charity. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Vaishak Shukla Ekadashi, or Mohini Ekadashi, from the Kurma Purana. Note, if the holy fast falls on Dwadashi, it is still called Ekadashi in the Vedic literature, which is wonderful. And this is our Supreme Lord. Do we believe the glories of the holy name? Do we believe that, just as Vasishta Muni is saying, simply by the utterance of your holy name, Sri Ram, one can cross the ocean of material existence on the boat of chanting your holy names? Do we believe that if somebody tells us, actually, if you feel like you are suffering mentally, emotionally, physically, due to wealth or poverty, whatever is your suffering, it can all be ended by this Ekadashi. Kondinya Muni was actually, it seemed, enlivened and happy to simply talk about the way to end Drishtabuddhi's suffering. He wasn't hoarding mercy. He wasn't saying, actually, you've been eating meat and drinking wine, associating with prostitutes. All of the regs were broken every day. You're not fit to hear about this yet. You know what? First, become Bhakta Drishtabuddhi. Wash some pots for some time. Sweep the floor. Do some menial service. Become more humble, Drishtabuddhi. Then you have the qualification to hear about Ekadashi. He didn't do any of that. He didn't even tell him to stop eating like onion and garlic. He didn't tell him to do anything but complete fast. Just fast on this one Ekadashi. I promise you, your life will change. Drishtabuddhi had faith and conviction. Conviction that he was willing to put his life behind in one Ekadashi fast. Here we are hearing about Ekadashi after Ekadashi. We are hearing the glories of the holy name. The holy name can give us everything. Simply by hearing about the holy name, character, qualities, fame, form, attributes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rukmini fell irrevocably in love with him, to the point where she was willing to bet her life on it. She says in her famous letter, "Oh Krishna, please come and accept me as your wife. And if you don't, that's okay. I will simply fast till death and perform austerities, birth after birth, until you're ready to accept me." Willing to bet her lives on it, plural. One person's asking, what does observe this auspicious Ekadashi perfectly mean? Do we have faith in what Srila Prabhupada has given us? Srila Prabhupada said, simply fast from grains and beans, increase your chanting. And then come all of our questions. Wait, but like, so does that mean like, can we have arrowroot? What about cacao? Is it a bean? Or is it like a pod? Is it a fruit? Like what? Which one? Wait a minute. But like, wait. Really? Just grains and beans? What about if I woke up and I started thinking about the grains and beans? Like, does that count? Like what? How far does this go? Our minds are constantly challenging the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the pure devotees. And I've taken to really trying to tell my mind, could we stop fighting each other and just simply comply? I am in a constant state of refusing to allow the Lord to love me. Then I go and I beg him to love me. Then I go and I yell at him, why haven't you loved me? And then when he says, okay, I'll love you, just follow this Ekadashi, grains and beans, just fast from that. Just have some milk and some vegetables and increase your chanting. I will love you, I promise. I will reduce everything. And then I'm like, yeah. I'm still kind of focused on what I want, so that's still a little bit too much endeavor for me. I have come to the conclusion that I am the most ungrateful, arrogant, unconscionably bratty person that the Lord has ever come across. I'm sure of it. I'm really arrogant, really conceited, very self-centered, not at all humble. Because in my conversations with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I can maybe fool everybody else. But I can't fool Krishna because he's a master at fooling everyone. And he's a master of trickery. Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say, Krishna's crooked. 3 places crooked. You can't cheat a crooked person. He's already more crooked than we can conceive of. So there we are, I'm there kind of taking stock and inventory of my qualities and realizing, yeesh, I am really difficult to deal with. And still Krishna never leaves me. He says, I will reside right there in the heart, giving remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, no matter how conceited and arrogant we are, no matter how ungrateful we are. It is just a, I reach ever new levels of ingratitude each day. And then when the Lord is saying, okay, you sound, spirit soul, like you've had enough. Let me save you. And I'm like, yes, save me from this intolerable ocean of death. Pick me up and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. And the Lord says, okay, just grab my hand. And I'm like, what? You want me to reach up and meet you halfway? I can't do that. I'm busy like swimming for my life. Don't you see me fighting for my life? And you want me to like reach up and meet you halfway? What kind of God are you? And then Krishna says, all right, I'll send the holy name. The holy name does not ask you then to meet me halfway. The holy name will come and do all the work for you, drag you to me. Just take the holy name. And I think, oh, wow. No, I don't want to do that. My attention span can't handle it. Can't you give me something without too much effort? The Lord cheats again. Okay, fine. I will send my devotee. You don't even have to take the holy name. My devotee will simply chant, and then you just listen without too much endeavor. There was a prostitute sent to Haridas Thakur, and she was very good at her job. And so she was going to be very good at her job. And in trying to distract Haridas Thakur from his chanting of the holy name, he said, you simply sit here and listen. And once I'm done, I'll gladly fulfill all of your desires. I'll enjoy with you, no problem. Just sit here and listen to the holy name. And so she sat and listened to the holy name. She wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, all for the sake of her job. How many times have we been in a work situation where we have gone a long day, we've been stressed out in meetings all day, or maybe attending to people all day, and then we find out that we haven't eaten from 9 to 5. There just simply wasn't time for it because our boss needed us. The boss that really doesn't actually care about us that much. But the boss needed us, and so therefore we were so attentive to our job that we didn't eat all day. 9 to 5. But we won't do this for Krishna. We won't do it for ourselves. Krishna actually doesn't need it. He's simply inventing newer and newer ways to help us because we've been crying for help. And then we refuse to take that. But we'll put our conviction behind our jobs. Why? Well, because our boss is going to pay us. We see the payoff. Do we see the payoff in chanting Hare Krishna? Or have we been willfully blind to the payoff of chanting Hare Krishna, to fasting on Ekadashi? Sometimes I think, where would my life be without the holy name? And then I shudder to think about what that might be like. I would be an absolute crazy person. I can tell you right now, I would not be able to function under the weight and the anxiety of everything that happens in the world every day. Physically, metaphysically, all the things, I would not be able to cope with any of it without the holy name. I see a drastic change in my mental health when I chant the holy name. And when I really give my heart to the Maha Mantra, I see miracles. I know Krishna's working in my life. And yet and still, I downplay those miracles every day. Every day, I commit the offense of somehow or other hearing the glories of the holy name and such pious days as Ekadashi, and then taking them for exaggeration or imagination. I come before the assembly of the devotees, boldly admitting my faults, as boldly as we would admit our achievements. I boldly admit my faults. I have taken it as imagination, but no more. On this day of Mohini Ekadashi, I want to resolve to believe with full conviction in the glories of the chanting of the holy name and the glories of days like Ekadashi. I want to fast with that faith and conviction, with the faith and conviction of a person who is just willing to do their job really well. No longer thinking, oh, but why do I have to do this? And I have to do all these fasts and all of these things. Actually, I don't have to, but I will. Because my boss is going to pay me in love. Oh Krishna. Oh my Anantadev, who is my Shalagram Shila. Pay me with love. I've been praying for it for lifetimes. Okay, now let me actually receive Krishna's blessings and love in my life. Bhima Prabhu, tell me something.
Haribo, not too many will speak of this, but I think I have to. 30 years ago, I think it was 30, maybe, yeah, about 30 years ago, I walked away from the holy name. And I'll tell you, another miracle happened in reverse. And that is, you do not realize what happens to you because a veil falls over you. And you are given a great forgetting. You forget. A veil falls over you. You don't remember what it was to be a devotee in the association of devotees. A cloud of ignorance falls over you, and you're propelled forward in your material endeavors because you have to endeavor in one of two directions, either materially or spiritually. And because I was so young and the world was out in front of me, I wanted to endeavor materially. And I actually prayed, Krishna, let me see the world. And the next thing you know, after 6 months, I put down my beads, and then the world descended. And I'll tell you, the one thing you do get when you abandon the holy name is you find yourself very alone. You're alone. You're no longer remembering Krishna. You're no longer remembering the best friend in your heart. You're no longer remembering that Krishna's in control. You're alone in the big wide world, and you're at the mercy of Durga. You're at her mercy, and so I wouldn't suggest it for anyone to abandon the holy name, because that's truly the greatest. That's the one thing we can do. That's in our hands. The desire to reach out to Krishna through his name. That's the one thing where we are the doer. You know, that desire, once we desire. And when I picked up the holy name after 30 years, after being driven to my knees by material nature, all of a sudden the world changed, consciousness changed, and the veil gradually lifted. I'm still covered by the veil, but I can see through it. It's not so thick anymore. But it's a great iron curtain that falls when you give up your association with the holy name, because the next thing that disappears are the devotees, and then you're finished. So I just like to give fair warning for anybody that, you know, if you contemplate not taking the blessing of the holy name as such a great gift that is needed. Hare Krishna.
And that's what I feel like today. On Mohini Ekadashi, it is a wonderful day to somehow or other put ourselves in the position to take a sankalpa, a little bit of a vow, simply to no longer take the holy name for granted. I want to no longer take the holy name for granted. My first best friend in this material world. The person that sticks with me no matter what. No matter where I go, no matter what I'm doing, waking, sleeping, eating, drinking, whatever it is, the holy name is available. Easily. And Bhima Prabhu, you said this is the only thing within our hands, literally within our hands. Srila Prabhupada is begging us, hold tight to the holy name. That is all you have to do. Hold tight to the holy name and really experience that the holy name is our friend, listening to us, responding to us. telling us things, interjecting in conversation with us. Do we allow ourselves to hear it? That's what I want. To just allow myself to hear the answering voice of Nam Prabhu. Do I believe that he's real? With the conviction that I myself am real. That's what I want. That's what I am going to give my life to cultivate. The conviction and the faith, absolutely above any shadow of any kind of doubt, that the holy name and Nam Prabhu is absolutely real, non-different from Krishna himself, ready and willing to speak to me at any given moment. How could I ever be too busy ever again? There is no amount of busyness for the holy name. The minute we call out to the holy name appears. Here I am.
Achika Gopi, does it take like a miracle or near-death experience and some kind of salvation to get to that platform of having absolute faith in the holy name?
I was just reading, and Sachinandan Maharaj had written that transformation can happen very quickly. We tend to fool ourselves into thinking, I need a big thing for transformation to happen. Srila Prabhupada says, actually, the only thing that needs to happen is that we become sufficiently frustrated with this material existence. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, Arjuna was sufficiently frustrated. Right? Sufficiently frustrated. And then he comes to Krishna, Karpanya dosho. Like, I have lost all my composure due to miserly weakness. My Gandiva bow is slipping from my hands. My mouth has dried up. My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms heavy. Like, he said it before Eminem said it. But he gave the first like rap version of everything is going wrong, Krishna. I don't know which way to turn now. You tell me decisively what is best for me. Of course, we think that's easy because he was looking Krishna in the eyes. Go look Krishna in the eyes. Go to your deities and your photos. Look Krishna in the eyes and say, I've lost all my composure. I have nothing left. All of my ideas and harebrained schemes are not working. You tell me decisively what is best for me. Because that is what Krishna's wanted for lifetimes. That is all he's wanted, is for us to go look him in the eyes and say, I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. Take control.
Thank you. This whole class sounded like a prayer. Thank you, Achika Gopi, for allowing us to witness it and participate in it. Thank you. Action time cameras on, please.
Chai.
Make sure you look sufficiently frustrated, okay?